Remember, you are dreaming. You are infinite consciousness, having a dream of fear, having a dream of scarcity, having a dream of want, of lack. But more than anything else, you're having a dream of separation, of you pretending you're this while you are longing for, reaching for, grasping for that. You are having a dream of becoming, of moving from one expression of yourself into another one, maybe a higher or better one, something that you prefer to experience. But it's all part of the dream. The metaphysical premise that all time is now and all is one opens a really profound understanding. There is no separation between you and the universe. All that you perceive as other or outer is merely another facet of yourself, like a vast kaleidoscope of consciousness exploring itself. Many fractals of one consciousness experiencing itself over and over again through the guise of individuated lenses. Co-creation then is not separate. It's not separate forces collaborating, but it's actually the interplay of your own infinite expressions, weaving together moment by moment in a state of coherence. And so no matter where you're stuck right now, trying to move from this to that, whatever you equate as being a higher and better experience of your life, this will help you. So please stick around, because I want this to help you, and I'm going to give you some fun ways, some games, because we're having this experience of creating things, but in actuality, you're not creating anything because creation is finished. As you move up to higher points on the spectrum of consciousness, you're discovering. You're discovering all that already exists and different facets of it. More and more of creation is revealing itself to you every time you change your vibration and move higher up in vibration. And so if you see it as this game that we're playing and you adopt it as play, then it starts to get a lot easier for you to shift into more desirable, more preferable states of being. And I'm going to give you 5 simple ways to explore this shift. So simple and fun and playful and practical, as a matter of fact, that even a 12-year-old could understand what I'm laying down here. A 10-year-old could get it and take these concepts and run with them. So keep your heart open, keep your mind open, and be willing to play, be willing to experiment, be willing to explore. And if you like this content, awesome. This is going to help you today, and I hope that you stick around for the whole thing. Stick around to the end, because maybe the first 3 of these concepts that I'm sharing with you, these games, aren't your bag, and so maybe the last 2 are the ones. So stick around, watch the whole video, and I would love it if you would like and subscribe, because for people who are, have the same like-minded sensibility of wanting to do better by themselves and wanting to see everyone else do better as well. When you like and subscribe to this, it helps to boost these videos in the algorithm so that other like-minded souls, other people with open minds and hearts like yourself, get to see this content, enjoy it, and benefit and grow from it. So I'm Catherine Massel. I have been a metaphysical mentor, master energy healer, teacher, speaker, author, going on almost a quarter of a century now. Yes, it's kind of wild to think about. And I love to share this stuff. I love to teach this stuff. YouTube is my way to share this freely with you. But if you love this stuff, you should know that I have Coherence Program, which is taking what we talk about in here, what we talk about in many of my videos, taking that to a much deeper level and engineering the identity shift that takes you into this highest expression that you want to become. It's more about unraveling all that you attracted that acted like shrouds or veils on top of this true identity of you over a lifetime. If you want to make that identity shift to who you were always meant to be, that takes a little more commitment. You got to put some skin in the game. And I have a 3-month program called Coherence, which is coming up on January 15th. Starts in 2 days from the time of me making this video, but you're welcome to join us for this next round. I'm going to leave the doors open for at least the first week of February, And if you love what I'm sharing with you here, you're going to absolutely love this program, and you're going to get the tools to help you concretize the identity shift of who you really desire yourself to be, your preferred experience, and do so in ways where you don't sabotage it, you don't procrastinate on it. It feels like you're normal. It feels like the most natural way of being, that it's always been the most natural way of being. So that being said, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's get into this illusion of creation. So what we call creating is in truth a process of unveiling. It's really unraveling. Imagine you're exploring a vast, magnificent mansion with infinite rooms. And as your awareness rises along the spectrum of consciousness, so you keep raising in frequency, that really means you're willing to break with everything you thought, you believed, you knew about yourself and about reality. And the more you do that, you lose those veils and shrouds that are actually keeping the truth of reality, the truth of yourself from you. They're the things creating the filters, the lenses through which you're looking at a reality that was never meant to be yours, that was never really yours. There's something to be said about the learning process of going through that, going through different levels of awareness and arriving at different points on the spectrum of consciousness where we can finally see ourselves in our truth. We can see all the love that we have for ourselves and all the love that we are ourselves. We can see our infinite I am awareness. But that really does take, it's not a passive process, it's an active process to be willing to let go of the things you think you believe you know. And the more you do that, it's like the locked doors of that mansion with infinite rooms, representing the unknown or unseen, they begin to unlock. So you're not building the mansion. It already exists. Creation is finished. There's nothing to manifest in the sense that you're creating it. Manifesting really means discovering what already exists, what's all already here. So the more expansive your vibration, the more you let go, the more you surrender the ideas, the thoughts, beliefs, the misunderstandings, the misperceptions, the false assumptions that you think you believe is you, the more of this grandeur of this mansion is exposed, the more you can explore and experience. So when we desire elevated states of joy, of ease, of abundance, we're not creating them from scratch. Instead, we're aligning with the vibrational state where these realities are already fully realized, where they already exist complete. Essentially where we're joining a program already in progress. It's kind of like tuning a radio or picking up a remote and changing the channel. The station you desire isn't created by the dial. The program you want to be watching isn't created by the remote. It's revealed when you align with the correct frequency, when you switch to the right channel. Okay? So what I want to give you here are 5 ways, very simple ways to explore this shift for even a 12-year-old to grasp and apply these concepts. It's something I want to invite you to explore with a little courage, a lot of fun, a lot of playfulness, and some consistency. And I'm going to talk about that at the end. So number 1, the mirror game. So in my teaching containers in Visionary School, which is my private online school platform and forum, which is like the companion community for Coherence program, which is coming up in that teaching container, in many of the things that I teach, Leading Edge Creator, Genius Fractal, we talk about the unity principle. We talk about the mirror principle, which those things kind of go together. Not kind of, they do go together. So the mirror game, what you see in the world around you is a reflection of your inner state. So how you feel about yourself, about the world at large, is going to project and show up as evidence, circumstances, conditions in your outer reality. So here's a way that you can explore this. And before I go any further, I want to say this. Take what resonates here and leave the rest. Be willing to explore this with an open mind, an open heart, but take what resonates. Play here, with what really calls to you. Don't feel like you have to do all these exercises. I just wanted to give like a broad spectrum of things to play with, because I know there's a lot of different people who watch this content. And there are things that appeal to people in a way, I call it visioneering. which is basically engineering your consciousness to receive into your inner reality that which already exists, to be open to that. And a lot of us visioneer in different ways. Some of us are very visual, some of us are very auditory, some of us are very oral. We like to speak things out loud. Some of us smell things, touch things. Some of us are more tactile. Some of us just know. So when you're playing with one of these 5 different ways, or playing with all of them, and this is a way to kind of be more investigative of what it is that allows you to visioneer your reality. Okay? So some of you are very visual. The mirror game is going to work for you, in other words, okay? So what you see in the world around you is a reflection of your inner state. And here is an easy way to explore this. Each morning, ask yourself, what do I want to see more of today? What do I really want to feel as I'm walking around experiencing my day? Kindness, fun, creativity, abundance. Then deliberately act as if you are that quality, that you hold that quality. And if you're not feeling particularly, let's just say, kind right now, maybe you can take a quick inner inventory and, be proud of something that you did lately. Like, what is something that you set yourself to task to do, and you did it, you completed it, you rose victorious over some situation. Take an inventory of that, and then be kind to yourself by being proud. Celebrate yourself. That's, the measure of self-kindness we always have is something that is going to be further evidenced in your outer world, but it's always an inner state that starts off that cascade of things that you want to see in your outer world. Can you be kind to yourself today? Can you have a little more fun? I have a very active 11-year-old puppy, and it's easy for me to practice playfulness and fun because if we are just playing with his toys or, running in the park together or playing chase, any of those things, it's very easy for me to slip right into the energy of fun, of play, of joy. If I want to explore more creativity, sometimes I love to write. I love to share things on Substack. I write posts there every week. I love to create videos. I love to create content where I'm teaching, some of the wisdom that I've accrued and applied and shared with my clients over the years. I love to do that. That's a very creative enterprise for me. But sometimes to fuel that a little bit more, I want to go and just sit down and pull out my acrylic paints or my watercolors or my colored pencils and just draw. Just do it's kind of like a brain dump for me, where if I pull out all of my artist materials and just play, it clears my head. It clears space for more creativity because I'm doing something creative. And I'm not attached to what it needs to look like, or I'm going to sell this painting or anything like that. It's just fun because I want to have more fun. It's just creative because I want to be more creative, right? So deliberately act as if you are that quality. Do something today where you can be extra kind, be extra playful, be extra creative, be extra abundant. Sometimes when we want to feel into more abundance, it can be like taking an inventory of what we have that's already working out. Something in our lives that's already good. We already have plenty of it. Is there some way you can share that? Is there some way you can pay that forward a little bit? And don't do it in a transactional way where if I do this, then I'm definitely going to get these things that I want. Do it in a way that's playful. Do it in a way that's fun. Do it in a way that you understand, the whole cosmological order is built on give and take. It's built on an exchange of energies. It's a commerce. It's a commerce of energy. So it naturally would make sense that if I'm already in energy that I have more than enough to give, isn't it that the universe is going to show me evidence that that's true? And will supply me with more than enough, but don't do it in a way where it's so you're attached to it necessarily. Let it be playful. Let it be fun. Let it be easy. Let it be light, okay? And then you'll notice how the world starts to mirror your inner choice back to you. It happens every time. But there's really only one way to find that out, and that's to do it for yourself. So number 2, the joy magnet. I really love this one. Imagine yourself as a magnet for joy. So all you need to do to do this, to execute this, is to sit quietly, close your eyes, and think about something that makes you feel pure happiness. Maybe it's your baby. Maybe it's your dog, your cat, your bird, your fish. Maybe it's a funny moment that you experienced. Maybe you were watching something where someone told a joke where you just had a good old belly laugh. Maybe it's your favorite song. Okay. When you start to investigate just a little bit, you'll start to realize there's actually a lot of things for me to explore that have happened to me maybe recently, or maybe even a while back, doesn't matter, where I can have that experience, that feeling of joy. And I let that feeling of joy grow bigger and bigger inside me. Because whatever you're feeling now is now. It doesn't matter if you're connecting with a memory from a day ago or 10 years ago. That feeling, that memory is really just an impression. And the impression is left because of the feeling. So all you need to do is connect with the feeling. And then when you do that, you start to connect with different impressions. You know, the past is a fiction, so is the future. So you might think connecting with an impression of, joy is going to connect you with something in the future. No, it connects you with everything that is joy now. It's like a balloon inflating. Because when you let that feeling grow bigger inside you, it opens up the space of receptivity. It makes you like this beacon of acceptance, of being able to receive more joy. And so then go about your day carrying that joy magnet with you. And you can even say, if you're into affirmations, I'm a joy magnet. I like affirmations, which are basically taking the affirmative statement of an affirmation and turning it into a question. Because it cues the subconscious to look for reasons and evidence why that's true. And so if you say, why am I such a joy magnet? Why am I such a magnet for joy? If that floats your boat, try that instead. Because when you're carrying that energy with you, you'll observe how people and situations seem to react to that as if it's true. Okay? They will change in response to your energy. So number 3, another fun one, the movie director exercise. So think of your life as a movie, and you're the director. I mean, in a sense, you're the director, you're the actor, you're the screenwriter, you're the gaffer. If you don't like a scene, how would you change it? And this is kind of working with the law of revision, which is a wonderful principle brought to us by the fantastic Neville Goddard, who talks about the law of revision. It's really about if you can feel into the highest expression of what you would like your reality to be. Like if you had an altercation with someone, let's just say earlier in your day, or maybe you had it the day before, it doesn't matter. Time is irrelevant. And that left you with a pretty shitty feeling. What if you imagine that scene going a different way? What if you as the director directed that scene differently? You as the actor acted out that scene differently. Start small, imagine a moment like, where that conversation, that altercation or misunderstanding with someone else took a foul turn, okay? Imagine yourself or even the other person, because they are an extension of you, and in your memory, they're just an expression of you under different circumstances. Imagine them saying something different. Imagine you saying something different. And then imagine that resulting feeling, where it feels like a more friendly conversation. It feels like there was more intellectual discourse there, or it felt like, there wasn't such a misunderstanding or miscommunication there. How would that feel? More friendly? Would it feel exciting? Would it calm you? Would it delight you? Go with what that feeling is, okay? And you can revise that. So imagine also a moment where you're like walking into a room. You're walking into a room with people you know. How would you want it to feel? Again, would you want it to feel like, not like all eyes are on me and oh my God, what do I say? But if you were brimming with confidence, if you were feeling, like top of your game, if you were feeling like you had something to really bring to the conversation, what people were already talking about in the room, how would you say that with a kind of confidence? How would you hold yourself with a kind of poise? What would your body language be saying? Would you have a smile on your face as you're talking? Would you be animated? Would you be looking people straight in the eye, And before you walk into a room like that, if you can anticipate this as something's maybe happening later in your day, and that you're going to be walking into a room and having a conversation, going to a party or something like that, or maybe you're going to work and you're delivering a presentation. Before you walk in, close your eyes and vividly feel that scene unfolding exactly how you want. Because here's the thing, we know that past and future, they're fictions, they're ghost lands, they don't really exist. Everything is now. The eternal now is here, and everything, all possibilities, all potentials exist in the now. They don't exist somewhere out there. That's that's an intangible thing, and it's a construct of the mind. So this scene that you're imagining, it exists. Concretize it. Walk into this room as if it's already a fact that this is unfolding the way you saw it in your mind. It's a very powerful exercise, especially when I have clients who are working on their confidence, when I have clients who, I actually helped a client with this who was absolutely terrified about going into the dentist. I asked her to have an imaginal act where she goes into the dentist and she has nothing but confidence. There's no fear. There's no danger. You know, she's going to be with a very kind and loving staff that are going to take her through this process of whatever she's going to, be experiencing in the dentist's office. The dentist is going to be kind, have a lovely bedside manner, is going to be very, very sweet and tender and gentle. And she's going to leave, cast her mind forward to seeing her leaving the office, feeling totally okay, feeling like, wow, that was so easy. Oh my God, why have I psyched myself out about this for so long? You can change your inner direction. You can change what influences and happens next. If you can create a very vivid, imaginal scene, you could be the director, you'd be the actor, be the writer. How would you craft it? And then greet that actual scenario in real life as if that's already true, as if it's already happened. That one's really fun. Watch what happens. Number 4, elevated gratitude. Gratitude is it's one of the quickest ways to leap into a higher vibration. Again, it's like taking inventory for what's already working out, what's already, beautiful and easy and natural in your life. I don't care if it means like just you have hot water in your shower, or if it means that you have, someone who did the dishes for you today. There's always something to be grateful for. There's always some gratitude that we can find. And what's really powerful, each night before you go to bed, you can write down 3 things that you're grateful for. I really like doing this in the morning, but not only just writing down what I'm grateful for, why I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful to have such soul-aligned clients because it's easy. The why is because it's easy for me to work with people who are a lot like me, who are really open and willing to experiment and willing to play and willing to, make bigger commitments to themselves, like me. There's something that happens when you concretize your gratitude list with the why, and just adding a little because clause after, even 3 to 5 things. It's really, really powerful. And when you write them down, it's important to read them back. Read them back to yourself out loud, because that goes deeper into your subconscious. It makes a bigger impression, in other words. And then imagine that they're even better tomorrow. Imagine that, I don't know, if you have really hot water in your shower, imagine that it's like, oh, the water bill is paid for this month too. How cool. Or if you're grateful for someone doing the dishes, imagine like 3 times this week someone's doing the dishes for you and how that would feel. If you're grateful for a good meal today, imagine tomorrow's meal tasting even better. If you had a really good week in sales, imagine next week your sales being even, blowing that out of the water, being even better. Let your gratitude expand. And make sure you elevate your vibration before you sleep. This is huge. What I share and teach in my coherence program, and especially in visionary school, is that those moments before you go to sleep at night, that couple of moments before you are going from the alpha state into theta, you're going in, even from beta to alpha and into theta. Beta is like the high active waking state, and you finally settle in, you're in your comfy spot in your bed, and you're moving through the breath and presence to settle yourself because you're getting ready for sleep. And then you're going into alpha, and as you move into the lower alpha, then you're going into theta after that, which is basically going into a dream state, just an extremely receptive brainwave state. And so when you are having a very active impression from your conscious mind, as you're moving into the state akin to sleep, which is moving from alpha into theta, is an incredibly impressionable time for your subconscious to receive a message. What message do you want to give it? That ideal self, that expression that you are desiring and longing to become, go from longing and instead make it like a concrete scene. It could just be a 30 to 40 second loop in your mind that you're looping through maybe 3-4 times before you go to sleep. Doesn't need to take actually more than a minute or two to do this. But if it's the last thing you do before you drift off into sleep, you are leaving your subconscious with a very powerful impression. And what your subconscious does is take that and it runs with it. You're going to dream about it. And the more you do this, the more you'll have dreams about what it is that you took into sleep with you because of what you impressed upon the subconscious mind by a conscious impression. By a scenario that you dreamed up and like, here you go, subconscious. What are we going to do with this? It allows your subconscious, without questioning it, because your subconscious won't do that. If it's a very vivid scene and it has the feeling of being real, and not just the feeling of it feels good, it feels joyful, but the feeling of, if I was delivering a powerful presentation to my team tomorrow, the feeling of it wouldn't just be like, oh, I feel more confident, I feel more joy. No, it would feel like you have your hands on the desk that you would have your hands on in that meeting room. That you could feel your favorite pen in your hand, or, you could feel the remote from the slide, the projectors, the slide for the projector. How do I want to say that? The remote for the projector so you can show the slides. You would have the feeling of being in that state, not just like the emotional state, but you would feel it as if it's real. Maybe you could feel the temperature of that room as you're giving the presentation. Maybe the feeling would also be rounded out by, if it's in a room that has windows, what would you be looking out and seeing as if you're, in this actual meeting, given the presentation? What would you expect to see? What faces would you look out and expect to see? That's what I mean by giving the feeling. And so if you give it the feeling of all the realness of being true, the subconscious won't try to negate it. It won't try to judge it. It'll just accept it as fact. If you can go to sleep with all that realness, which you're impressing upon the subconscious, can quicken, it can accelerate the results of what you expect to see. So that's a real fun one. And so let your gratitude expand even more after that scene is over. And take that into sleep with you, because it really elevates your vibration before you go into sleep and leaves a powerful impression on the subconscious. Number 5. This is a super easy one. Anybody can do this. I do this all the time. The vibrational scale challenge. So on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can actually write this down in a notebook and do a scale, draw a scale, 1 to 10. 1 being sad and stuck, and 10 being excited and free. Okay. Check in with yourself during the day. Okay. What number am I at right now? And you can give names to those other points on the scale, like number 2 is feeling, frustrated. Number 3 is feeling overwhelmed. Maybe 4 is feeling more hopeful, but you want to rise up in vibration as you reach 10, right? So you can give those names if you'd like to. And then if you're taking this inventory throughout your day and saying, what number am I at right now? What you do with that is you just breathe. Breathe into presence. Breathe into present moment awareness and just accept. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to instantly replace it. That keeps you from allowing the feeling to move through in a powerful way. You're meant to feel the feeling, so just let it be there. And then ask yourself, well, what would I prefer? After you spend a moment just letting this cycle of this feeling move through. Okay, I can accept that, but this is what I would prefer to feel. And if you're below 7, let's just say, think, what small thing can I do to just feel 1 number higher? How can I get to 8? It could be as simple as taking another deep breath, as smiling, imagining a favorite memory, just like you did in one of the other exercises I shared. Keep raising your vibration step by step. Think of it as just rising the scale. And every time that you rise along this scale, it's like reaching another point in the spectrum of consciousness where you're going higher. You're elevating into more expanded frequencies. As you do that, you are going to see mirrored in your outer reality those things that match those elevated frequencies. There's one other practice that I did share recently. It's in my video, Stop Hiding Your Power from Yourself, and I did that very recently. I have an exercise in there called the Index of Meanings. It's at the end of the video, but please watch the whole video because it's an incredible teaching. The Index of Meanings is another tool that I'm going to offer forth and just tell you that, you know, this is something that allows you to take an inventory of the meanings that you put on events and situations, memories, etc. Because every time you do that, every time you slap a label or a judgment or a meaning on a situation, you make whatever happened in that moment belong to you. These are the lenses, these are the filters that keep you feeling separate from what it is that's all already here. It's all already manifested. It's all already created. But the more meanings and labels and judgments you have, ways of defining yourself, are ways that you have an identity that takes you further away with each different meaning from the identity you want to inhabit. So check out that video. I'm going to tag it in the comments down below. I hope this really helps you, and I want to say this in parting, that, you know, the key to these practices is really consistency. So like watering a seed, the more you tend to your vibration, the more you tune in present moment awareness. Where am I at right now? What am I feeling right now? Is it any wonder that I'm seeing these things in outer reality? Is there any wonder that I'm looking out at manifested reality and saying, oh, fuck my life? No, manifested reality is proof and evidence of feelings you already had before, thoughts you already had before, ideas you already had before, beliefs you already had before. Stop reacting to circumstances. Instead, go inward. Be a better curator and cultivator of your inner state. The more you do that, the more your vibration will increase, the more your frequency will expand. And as it grows, the mansion of your consciousness, it reveals all of its hidden treasures. All the doors remain open and unlocked all the time. Joy, freedom, abundance, they're no longer goals that you are chasing, but states of being that naturally unfold into greater circumstances, greater conditions. You don't have to know how it works. This is one of the biggest hang-ups that people have that I work with. Your job isn't to know the how. Your job is to be the best custodian of your inner state, the best curator of your frequency of being. That's your job. And from there, you're going to have to trust and have faith, trust the process. And, you know, like I said, even a 12-year-old can understand this, play with this, that when you feel better inside, the world starts to feel better too. And the more you explore this inner magic, the more you're going to see the truth, that it was all you. It always and ever is you, all along. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to invite you again into Coherence program. We start on January 15th, 2025. I hope you'll join us. This is going to be an incredible program for visionary entrepreneurs, conscious creators. You can check out all the info and the details with the link I have down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for liking and subscribing. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.